Yeah. The daily message, my word or thought of the day is we should probably be knowledgeable of what we're talking about when we're talking. Because it only makes us look dumb when we don't. I listened to this brother have a conversation with the Middle Eastern brother, my Middle Eastern brother. So my Middle Eastern brother was selling some food. You know, we know how it go. It's mama phase. So the black man said to the Middle Eastern brother, I thought y'all eggs was only $1. And the Middle Eastern brother said, well, they're $1.25 now. And the black brother said, $1.25? Man, y'all was just selling them for $1. How it went up to $1.25? I'm like third in line listening to this, right? And then the black brother just looked at the Middle Eastern brother and said, started shaking his head, yeah. Y'all wanted Trump, and that's what you got. Now you got to raise your eggs 25 cents higher. Y'all wanted Trump. And the Middle Eastern brother just calmly nodded his head. Said, you know, it's only been, you know, a month or so, man, you know. It's just chill. And I'm thinking to myself, wow. Look at this education. Look who's teaching who. And I'm thinking to myself, why is it that the Middle Eastern brother why was the argument being argued from this way? I mean, why is it that the Middle Eastern brother wanted Trump to win? Is it just for business purposes? I doubt it. We already know if he's a Middle Eastern brother, then that's probably a strike that he could have against Trump, or maybe not. Maybe he's a legal Middle Eastern brother. All right? So I'm going to just say I doubt it. Does he have a family? Probably so. And I'm like listening to this phenomenal conversation and the contrast of what it should have been. All right, first of all, let me say this. Just for those who don't know, if you don't know, let me tell you, and please listen. Joe Biden, you should go up, and matter of fact, at this point, as soon as you hear this, pause the video and look up chickens killed under Joe Biden. And you will find out, because of what was called the bird flu, something that Bill Gates has been talking about for the last 2 or 3 years, warned us about under the Joe Biden administration. He automatically warned us about this new bird flu that would somehow come around election time. Almost like COVID. Remember that? So we had a bird flu virus that we was warned about, and because of that bird flu virus, 100 million chickens, approximately 100 million chickens. Look it up. Just look it up. Some of the numbers are, I mean, even if you say 20 million, because some of the numbers start around 20 million. 20 million chickens to 20 to 100 million chickens were directed to be killed under Joe Biden because of what they fear to be this bird flu thing. Now, we don't know if that's the truth about the fear or not. But I want to say that to say the price of eggs don't have nothing to do with the man that was elected, that's been sworn in for less than 2 months. So please, let's get off of that stupidity and let's deal with the facts. Now, I'm looking at everybody. If you really pay attention, who's doing all of the crying? Who's doing all of the screaming? The same politicians. It's not the citizen at home. You show me one person, and I'm not saying there are not any, but for every one person you could show me that's been directly affected by uncovering all of this fraud, then I'll show you 500 people that has been directly affected by all of this fraud. What do I mean? How can I do that? Well, all I got to do is ride down the street and show you a homeless person, a hungry mother, a homeless father, a father without a job, a father who just got out of prison without a job, a hustler, a woman who's thinking about selling her body to feed her kids, a woman that's thinking about selling her body, or a man that's thinking about selling his body to live. You show me one person that's been affected by DOGED, uncovering all of this fraud, and I will show you 500 people that have been affected by all of this fraud, because every category of person that I just named can be helped by some of this fraud. I mean, some of this stuff that's been uncovered, all of this assistance and help going to other causes in other countries, I have no problem with helping out other countries. That is what we are supposed to do. As godly people, we should want this. But as godly people, it also tells us we must go with the laws of the land as well. And you cannot look at your brother and look past him. These are things that the word say. Did you see your brother hungry and did not feed him? Did you go visit your brother or your sister? And they don't mean your literal brother or sister. Did you go visit anybody on their sick bed? Were you willing to help your neighbor? Treat thy neighbor as thyself. Thy neighbor, thy brother, thy fellow countryman. That's what it's saying first. I mean, I think. And so, when I see all of these Democrat politicians crying, I don't want to say my wood get hard. But boy, I love it. I'm not going to act like I get an erection, but I love it. I mean, think about this. How often do we get the chance to see what we're seeing? I mean, you got all of these politicians, they're not crying for us. They're not crying for you or me. They are not crying because your mother or father or daughter or son, niece or nephew, neighbor, sick, healthy, young or old, homeless or not homeless, dealing with mental health or not. They're not crying for those American citizens that are hurting. They're not crying for that. And see, I say American citizens, but whether you're black or white, or Chinese, or whatever you are in America, and you're a citizen, that means it could be your brother or your sister. So don't say, well, it ain't me. Because it could be your brother or your sister at any time. If it can be you, it should matter. If it can be you, it should matter. Yes. I mean, it really should. So, yeah, I'm not trying to lose no energy over thinking about it in a negative way, but I'm just trying to get you to realize the people that are crying to you in the news telling you that you should be bothered, that this should bother you. No, it shouldn't. It really should not. It really should help you to understand the fact that Elon Musk said that they have found enough money to where they can give every American a $5,000 stimulus check. I mean, and then he actually I'm going to tell you what that does. That lets us know that they found it. And then Elon is going out further to say, not only did I find it, but I'm going to let you know. I'm putting it right here on Twitter where everybody in the world can see it. And then not only am I putting it on Twitter where everybody in the world can see it, but I'm going to also let you know these words right here. I'm going to talk to the president about giving y'all this money, whether it happens or not. So now you got citizens, you got voters that understand and know in their mind, no matter what he do with it, that's enough money recovered to give people stimulus checks. And this has went to the ears of the president. I ain't looking for him to do nothing for me directly, like so many people are. People that wouldn't even vote for him are the people that sitting down saying, he ain't do nothing for me. Let's look at what he's doing potentially for the country. And if he get the country booming to the point where every able-bodied man and woman can have a fair chance at making a living, then man, damn. That's what more do I want? What more do I need? I'm an able-bodied good man. Strong, healthy. God bless me in my right mind. What am I looking for a handout for? And what am I crying about somebody telling me my money has been fraudulently given? Somebody telling me that I have been paying for all of this pornography, all of this perversion, all of this child sex trafficking, all of this DEI stuff, all of this chopping off of child members' body parts, all of this stuff that America is commercializing around the world. All of this stuff that America is actually making popular, making a way of life. And they're doing it in a lot of African countries where poor and black people reside. And they're doing it in a lot of countries that hold it highly against their religion, highly offensive. So America is sanctioning a lot of things, and it's okay. We know America does that. But did we know that we were playing a part in it? No, we didn't. No, we did not. We didn't know that. Did you know? I didn't know. If you knew, you could tell me and let me know. And if I'm a friend of yours, then you lost a friend. And I ain't got no problem saying that. If you knew that you was paying millions and millions of dollars to see how, gay monkeys can be, to see how much you can teach transgender issues in all of these countries and all of these different areas, places that dream and places that hold America in high esteem, that sometimes these countries are not put in a position where they are taking this because they want to. They're in positions to take it because that's the alternative. If you want this aid from my taxpayers in America, you have to be willing to do this or to do that. The fact that that is the blackmail and that is the carrot that is being held out lets you know something right there. That lets you know that they know it's wrong. They know it's actually against these people's culture, religion, and belief system and way of life. So they put a carrot at the end of it to make them take it. And these leaders are left in, a lot of these leaders aren't, we're finding out because a lot of the African leaders are coming right out. And they're saying no. And then they're getting out and they're talking about it, telling people why they said no to America. And they're telling people the outcome, where we won't get funding, but we rather not get funding than to put this type of perversion in our education system. And that brings me to my point. To the brother in the store. If all I got to worry about is one egg, 25 cents more, 50 cents more. If I got to do that, if stopping my children from learning or being told that they are not what God made them to be, and also being told that not only are you not what God made you to be, but a doctor, a man, or a woman, a human being can come around and make it different. A human can change God's mistakes. We know God don't make mistakes. But the Democrat Party has pushed upon us that there are human beings that can change what they call a mistake made by God. If me paying 25 cents or 50 cents higher on a few items here and there can change the bloodline of black people in this earth, on this earth, it's worth it. That bloodline is just not of black people, that is also of mine. And so I'm not going too far to say if these things would have continued under Joe Biden, that is how bloodlines are wiped out. This is how cultures and races are eradicated. And so if I can have my children, my granddaughters, my great-granddaughters, who I hope I see one day, or maybe, you know, if I have a chance to where I can have great-granddaughters who understand that they are women, who understand that they are here to bring forth life, and grandsons who understand that they are here to help bring forth life, and they are men, then it's worth it. If I can go on to see my granddaughters play in the sports that they like to play in without being challenged by a man, getting beat up by a man, how can we have another Clarissa Shields, Layla Ali, women boxing, great boxing women? How can we have any more of them if we got men entering the sports, beating them up? How can men enter women's boxing in Olympics and men win the gold medal in women's boxing? How can this happen? So if I have to pay 25 cents more for a product just to make sure my granddaughters, my great-granddaughters, and future granddaughters who I won't see are still having children and still understanding that there is a man and there is a woman. There is no in-between. You can have your preference of sex, your preference of who you love and want to be with, but there is no mistakes on God when it comes to nothing. But we're talking about gender. There is no man who can correct these, what they call mistakes by God. And so pay that extra money. It's not about us right now. I believe the children are our future, as Whitney Houston said, and I see too many parents and old-ass people who have given up on that future because they're too busy living for me. The same people that are complaining about this extra 25 cents, they said nothing about parents losing their children if they don't affirm them. In other words, if they don't take them to the doctor and let them turn them over to be transformed. Nothing about parents losing their kids to gay couples. Nothing about these gay couples who are renting their children out, molesting them, putting them in that whole cycle of trafficking. Don't say nothing about that. Nothing at all. So long story short, man. Now we got duties right here, and God over all of that. And once you put God over it, you learn that your children come first. You yourself individually need to step back, start putting your children first, and that means think for them the way your mother thought for you. My granddaddy, my grandma, all of this stuff that they talking about today, the leaders of the church talking about today, helping with, making people think it's cool and okay. My grandma and granddaddy wouldn't have never said nothing like that. As a matter of fact, if you black, you know I'm telling the truth. I could look you in your eye. You would have got your butt whooped back in the day. Coming home talking about your name. You just changed your name to an opposite sex name than what your daddy or mama gave you. You went to school as Aaron, and you come home and you tell your daddy your name was April. Now, you can do that before this last election, but you can do that in some states, and if your mama or daddy got mad, you can lose custody of your child. So, no, I ain't down with none of that. And nobody else shouldn't be either. That's a little bit too far off subject. Understand what you're looking at when you see Democrats crying and these people on the fake news crying about what you should be fearing about DOGED. it's funny to me. It's fun. And when politicians start crying and screaming, you should enjoy it. And don't join them and let them make you cry out for them. It ain't, like I said, I don't know. Tell me who you know that's being hurt individually by it, and I can show you 500 people who's been hurt by the very thing that they're trying to stop. Maybe thousands, but I'm talking about 500 just by walking down the street. My sister paid $2,800 for medication. You know, I know too many people dealing with things right here in America to look at these numbers of millions and millions and billions of dollars going out to help other countries with the same things that we need help with in America. The same very things that are being looked over, looked past, ran down, beat down, and out of there. Just like Joe Biden said in the thing. I finally beat down Medicare. You know, and all that's gonna be gone. How we got illegals on Social Security, like receiving things that we know people here should be receiving that can't receive it. So those are the things that we have to be conscious of. Those are the things that we have to look at. And when we hear them screaming, when we hear them crying, don't cry with them. Find out what they're crying about, and then go look on the DOGED page, and I'm guaranteeing you, you'll agree with the cut that just happened. You'll agree with it. It's no way you knew that you was funding so much perversion and terrorism around the world. If you did, then you're evil. But if you didn't, then you should be enjoying what they call DOGED. All right? God is good. Don't be caught up carrying everybody else's burden, especially if they politicians who are crying about fraud and crying about wanting to continue to abuse you. These people are crying because they want to keep abusing you. And now somebody's saying no. That's crazy. They're not even hiding it, and some of y'all still love them. No, man, we got to stop loving our abusers. That is called, come on, Stockholm Syndrome. You can't love your abuser. All right? God is good. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in God's sight. May you take your words, may you take your thoughts and strengthen, embolden, and inspire somebody else today. We always have those opportunities. A lot of times we look over them or we don't listen, but you will have the opportunity to bless somebody today. Be encouraged, be strong, be blessed, man. God is good all the time. Peace out.